Welcome back, YouTubers. Today I'm going to show you how to program a pendulum, and these are really amazing at helping us to find yes and no answers, lost objects. It becomes quite valuable for any type of healer or someone that is working in this field. Now, is it accurate? I would say about an 85% accuracy. I'll give you my story of using a pendulum. So when I was much younger, in high school, we used to have these multiple choice questions. I'll take my pendulum, work with that, and I got 85% for that class, and I didn't study at all. So that was my experience of working with a pendulum. So over the years, I've grown to really enjoy a pendulum. I'm going to show you what mine looks like over here. And the whole point of it is to get your mind out of the work. So what you're going to have to do is learn how to slow your brain down to less or no thoughts at all. It helps when you do meditation over some time, but everyone can get a really good answer. I caution you not to ask silly questions or ask the same question in different ways. The guides working with pendulums get very bored with people messing around with it, and then you get crappy answers. So the only time I use a pendulum is when I'm doing energy work, or I'm doing dowsing, or I'm getting yes or no answers in readings. It's a really effective way to get quick answers very quickly, and you'll know that it's the right answer. So today I'm going to show you how to work with your pendulum. It is one of these things that I would highly recommend for anyone. We can also, I'll do a more advanced pendulum work in a later state on how to find lost objects and what you can do for that. But for now, let's go into how to work with a pendulum and how to program a pendulum. Programming a pendulum just means that you are telling it, this is how I want to receive my answers. So a lot of times people will take the pendulum and then ask for a yes and ask for a no. And as nice as it is, my patience level is beyond that. So I have limited patience to get stupid answers in that way. Mine is a little bit more fast-tracked than that, so I'll show you my technique of programming this pendulum so that I can get yes and no answers very quickly, and it works every time. Now the difference is I have learned to quiet my brain, so I ask the question, shut off for the answer, and allow it to show me that answer. So the way I do it, I actually reduced the length of the pendulum, if you can see that. I then put it into neutral, so I say this is my neutral. Then I spin it clockwise, this is my clockwise, or yes. Okay. And I spin it quite fast, and I scream yes, 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 yes in my mind. Okay. Then I bring it back to neutral, this is my neutral. And then I spin it anti-clockwise for my no. And then basically I scream no, no, no in my brain. Okay, so just so I've told the energy, this is how I want to work with it. Now, angels and guides and masters of light, they need a way to communicate with us. If we tell them how we want to communicate, when we want to communicate, So to work with spirit or work with angels or guides, they want to know when they can come through to you, what time of the evening. You need to tell, if they're waking up at early hours of the morning, you need to tell them, listen, it's not convenient right now, come at a better time, or set up a time for them. Like we do a yoga practice at a certain time per day, we wanted to work with spirit in the same way. We want to give them an opportunity at every night at 8 p.m. I'll be ready, I'll be conscious every day at 8, that I'll just switch off the TV and be in my Zen space or a meditation or practicing these tools that make our lives different. Now, so I said clockwise for yes, neutrals back and forth. Now neutral can also be a maybe or undecided or not ready right now to answer, or anti-clockwise for no. Now this is really important. Sometimes the questions are double-barreled. The question has two possible outcomes. I would ask it separately. I would ask, do I need to go to the shop today? So I will rather break it down to one question, test that answer, or test the other. Is it two people involved? Is it this person that stole money, or is it this person that stole money? We can literally break down that question in such a way that we can get a one-sided answer, yes or no. This is a really good tool to get that answer for you. Now, like I said before, if we start asking the same question over and over and over, we're going to get stupid answers. Now, all right, so I'm going to start putting into neutral. Now remember, give it some vuma, put it into neutral, move it around so that it's already got some momentum over here. You will automatically feel when it goes clockwise or when it goes anti-clockwise. Now you're seeing my arm move. That was me moving it. All I do right now is I put it into neutral and then I ask the question, am I wearing a grey t-shirt on? And then it starts going clockwise. Okay, now I put it back into neutral. Does this grey t-shirt have a skull on it? Yes. Okay. Now I put it into neutral. Does it have a pink rose on it? No. So it already starts honoring the energies. Now, automatically the answer and the pendulum responds because I give it momentum. A lot of times people will always sit like this and then ask the question, which will take forever to give me that answer of spinning clockwise or anti-clockwise, So just be aware, shorten the string, put it in between two fingers, If you want to rest your arm so it's a little bit more like in the way you can feel that it's not your hand giving that answer, put it into neutral, and then ask your questions one by one and slow the question down. Ask the question, slow your brain down, receive the answer. When we have attachment to the answer, then we can influence the pendulum to say go clockwise or anti-clockwise. Maybe I thought my husband was cheating on me, and then I preconceived that thought, and then the pendulum picked up my thought instead of what the actual answer is. The way we get around this is you need to know yourself, know where's your energy invested. Are you neutral about the answer? And they'll give you an accurate answer. Now, we can use this to find lost objects, is my cell phone in the kitchen? Is it in the lounge? Is it in the bathroom? We can break down the house and ask yes, no answers. Where is my cell phone? So lost objects are amazing. Yes, no answers are amazing. Water down below on the earth as well. We can get to that in a little bit later lesson, but we can ask all these questions and we can get a very valid answer for each one of these. Okay. Now, I do caution you, do not ask it 10,000 questions at a time. Limit yourself to 5 questions at a time when you're a beginner. I have been doing pendulum work for well over 10 years now. The pendulum, I have a deep found respect for it. I honor the energy with the answers. If it gives me a yes, I stick with that yes. I don't go, oh no, whatever's wrong, I don't second guess it and I don't question it. The reason for that is coming directly from the guides. My question goes up to my higher self. The higher self sends energy down my arm and into the pendulum. This is why I told you, reduce the size of the string so that you can get a quicker answer for your work. Doing that in that way, I find I get quicker answers, more accurate answers, and I can ask more questions. The more you develop your relationship with your pendulum, the better it is for you. Now, to cleanse the pendulum, this is wood. I can put it on a crystal cluster. I can sage it. I can use some holy water on it as well. Keep your pendulum away from people. Don't let people touch your pendulum in this way, because this is a tool for yourself, your development. I wouldn't hand this to someone or client, ask them to work with my pendulum. This is a very sacred pendulum for me. It's worked with me for all this time. It's got my energy in it. I don't want anyone else's energy messing with it. If you're getting weird or wonky answers, cleanse your crystals, cleanse your pendulum, and then ask again. But give yourself some time just to recover from that moment, because remember, we are learning. A part of learning means that we need to make some mistakes. We're not going to get it perfectly all the time, and I don't want you to be a perfect person or perfect student. I want you to be authentic with your experience. We're going to mess it up and then we'll get the answers. Okay, so that's how we grow spiritually, is we have to learn what is ours, what is the situation. Maybe it's an undecided energy, maybe something still needs to happen before you get that right answer. I can't tell you what is the right way to do this. All I can tell you is every time I work with a pendulum, I know for 100% that I'm getting the right answer. That is my belief structure with it. That's why it works with me and it serves me perfectly. Okay, that is my secret to work with the pendulum. Store it in a nice velvet red bag or sachet or fabric. Red is the color of protection. It also wards off negative energy, and it also makes it blanketed so that no one wants to touch your pendulum. Okay, and the color red, anything wrapped in color red when going through an airport people will most likely not look at it. Okay, so that's just my tips for a pendulum work. This is something really cool to work with. Use it every single day of your life if you want. You can also test medication as well. Am I taking the right dosage for my body type? You know, the package might say 2, but check, is 2 good enough? Maybe 1 is good enough, or maybe 3 is good enough. Test with the pendulum to see what your body needs from any herbal medication or any other medication you're taking. Remember, consult your doctor before doing any of the above. These are just tools to aid us. Your guides, your angels, your masters of light are the ones we trust and we work with on a daily basis. As an ongoing friendship we're building with your guides, with your angels, that is sacred to you and you alone. So I hope you've enjoyed this class. Please like, share, subscribe. If you have taken any value from this, I want to hear your comments down below. I want to see how this worked for you. And is there anything you want to give me? Is there any other advice you want to add to this video? And then I can always do a follow-up one to this one. Much love to you. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful lockdown further.